Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, it's Raidhyn, and welcome to a isolated incident of Banished. This is one of my favorite city building games that exists. It's a game that I dropped a good 100 hours into when it released earlier this year, back in February. By this year, I mean, I think we're in 2015 by the time you'll be watching this, so last year. But I'm just going to go ahead and get started with this and kind of talk through some of the stuff that I like to do in the beginning of this game as far as becoming successful. And yeah, we're just going to go ahead and get started. Now, I am playing with the Colonial Charter mod on, thanks in part to a YouTuber and fellow Let's Player that I watched called C-Top. He's a guy who pretty much does all simulation slash strategy games, and it just looked really cool on his videos, and I was like, man, I need to try this. So I've actually been playing Banished for most of the day today. Now, what I'm going to try to do is avoid any starting mistakes that I normally make on these things. So the first thing that you typically want to do is you want to tell your group of people to go ahead and start collecting up stone in the area, just because stone ends up being like a hugely missed resource. And then the other thing that I like to do before anything else is to figure out where I'm going to put my first gatherer's hut, because gatherer huts are kind of like your initial starting point for the town, as far as to how you're going to get food and all that kind of stuff. So I like to find like a good area where I can build a bunch of stuff, including from a gatherer's hut, also put down a hunting cabin. Let's see, yep, we can stack it up nicely there. And then I also like to put down a forester's lodge so that we can maintain our level of forestry awesomeness. And finally a herbalist, just for those early herbs, and then later for trading. Alright, so that looks good. And I'm going to go ahead and unpause this while we build our first roads, because roads are very important. They basically just make it so that you can get to and from places a lot faster. And can I do this without... Nope, it looks like we're going to have to wait a little bit in order for people to start clearing out some stone first. The other thing that I like to do is, one of the mechanics in this game that's kind of key is these stockpiles. So what I like to do is put down a second stockpile right away, because when you're starting on medium, you get kind of an easier start, and you don't have to worry about resources as much, because you start with quite a few. And we can also start using our roads to kind of chisel out what the initial town layout is going to look like. Whoa, that's a fun route. So yeah, this game, I played a whole lot of Banished when this game first released, and I used to have things down pretty well where like I knew a lot of the like formulas for like, you know, best optimization and things like that. I used to know, you know, what the best ratio was for, you know, like farm size to worker amount and things like that. Now I don't really know all that stuff, but I have had a lot of fun coming back to this today and kind of playing it again after having taken a break for such a long time. So we're just going to kind of do like a partial grid thing here, and I'm going to get down our first couple of houses. Just going to make basic, well, let's hold on, wood house 16/8 or 10 by 2. Let's go ahead and we'll just make some tiny shacks for now. So I want to start off a little on the modest side. We'll just go ahead and build 5 of these, one for each of our 5 families starting off. And then we're going to go ahead and bump up the speed here as well. Now, one of the other things that I like to do when I play is bring up all of these wonderful kind of status reports, move our resource limits up initially, because these things just end up being super important. Take iron up to like 500, I kind of like that. And we're going to reassign a lot of these laborers to being builders. So basically, the way that the game works is you build buildings. When you build buildings, you have the chance to put people into those professions. You control the professions on this little screen here, and then the people run around and do what their professions tell them to do. That's basically it. The rest of it is just decision making on which professions you need, what resources you need stockpiled, if you have enough input to meet the demand of a growing population, and all that other kind of good stuff. And the thing that I really like about it is just how nice and peaceful it is to play the game. You know, there's no like flashy pop-up messages, there's no annoying music or cues. It's all just very, very calming and very nice and relaxing. And it's actually funny, one of the reviews that I originally read about this on the Steam reviews was that it's like the Zen garden. It's like the Zen garden of city building games. And I would say that that's a fairly accurate description, and I really like that. I don't know, there's just something that's really nice and peaceful about playing Banished, and part of the reason why I'm playing it today is because I needed a nice and peaceful game to play. My wife and I decided that we would quit smoking a day early, a day before New Year's Day, and yeah, this day's been quasi-stressful in response to that, but it's also been nice because I've been able to play some Banished after having been away from this game for quite a while. So the other thing that's really nice about this is you can follow people like all the way down to who they are and what they're doing specifically in their professions. So like right now, Charmony is getting something to eat. So we can see that the reason why she's coming all the way back here is because she's probably going to go over to the storage barn here and pick up some food. Yeah, it looks like she did, and then she dropped off some stuff. But you can kind of keep track of what everyone's doing and how they're operating, just to see if you can optimize in any way, shape, or form. Now, population growth on this is built on building houses. So when these houses are built after these original 5, our population will start growing as we build more houses. I'm just trying to keep the type of housing pretty low key for now, because one of the things I ran into in the past with this was having trouble getting my original gatherer's hut up first because of running out of stone really early on. So I want to make sure that that doesn't happen again. So there's actually a command in here, where are you? To prioritize building. Here it is. Increase priority. So we can actually take this and increase the priority of this here little building, which we'll want to do. And we can see that we have 3 people assigned to the gatherer's hut. And they're off picking up resources, and we can kind of keep an eye on the progress of this specific building over here. If we wanted to, we could just, you know, pin it permanently, I think. Ah, that's what that does. Cool beans. The reserve of logs is low. Okay, and actually this is something else that I need to address immediately, is we need to build a woodcutter's lodge. Pretty much ASAP. Go ahead and put it right next to the stockpile. Now that our houses are up, you can see that our number of building jobs are going down. Yep. And so we can start prioritizing that gathering area. And yep, these are finally getting done. So let's go ahead and make sure that we assign a bunch of gatherers right off the bat, because this is where our main food supply is going to be coming from initially. Assign 1 hunter. We'll assign 1 forester for now, and then once the herbalist is done, we'll assign one of them as well. And then, yeah. Alright, so this is good. The next thing that we can do is we can build, after this woodcutter's lodge is done, we can build a fisherman's hut, I believe it's called. Fishing dock, never mind. And basically what you want to try to do with these is just place them on a peninsula somewhere of some kind. So like right here would be a fantastic spot, because if you cover more water, you're going to get more yield. But for right now, I just kind of want to get one that's close to the shore. Or not close to the shore, but close to the start of the city, so that the fishermen don't have to go too far. I guess that's alright. We can do that. Let's go ahead and assign a woodcutter so we can start chopping down some fuel for us. And we can see that our stored food is starting to climb back up slowly. Alright, let's go ahead and we'll assign one herbalist. We can see that our builder jobs have decreased slightly. So with that in mind, I had such a big problem with picking up stone in the last game that I kind of want to get a quarry down as soon as possible. But first let's build... We'll build a wooden house or two. We won't put them over there by the riffraff. We'll have them live in their own nice upscale neighborhood. We'll drop 2 of those. And then... what comes next, I wonder? What's the inventory looking like? It looks like they're doing okay with food supplies. A lot of potatoes still, which is the supplies that we came into the game with. It'll be nice once we get the fisherman's hut up as well, which should create some more food for us. Let's go ahead and make sure that we build a road to that. I guess that's fine. How are things looking over here? Now with some of these you can see what the yield is on things like the gatherer's hut. Not on everything, but on most things. I believe there's a yield marker. We can definitely see it with our farms. Let's go ahead and build a pair of small farm plots. Looks like we have what's the distance here? 17 by 9. So let's make a 8 by 9 and an 8 by 9 field. We can run a road down the middle and that'll just look so nice. It'll look so nice. And that's the whole goal with these things, right? Is just to make them look oh so nice. Alright, put a happy little road down the middle. And we'll see about what crops we have. Looks like just potatoes. That's incredibly boring. We can assign a farmer to that. Whoa, what is this? Fuel limit. Nope, we want that fuel limit to go way up. We'll put that at like, whoa, not 16,000. Let's go 1,600. Alright, that'll get him back and working. And yeah, we're gonna want more food. So our food is 0, our stored logs are 0. Probably gonna want to increase the number of foresters that we have as well, which I think should bring the amount of logs up. Let's go ahead and give our... I like to put stockpiles nearby to where people are working, because then they don't have as far to kind of drop off their resources. So let's see about putting one just, you know, right here. That seems alright. Might be a little large for that area, but that's okay. And then that way we can just have a laborer move the things back and forth. We can assign a couple of fishermen, which should bring some more food in. Oh, it looks like it's slowly climbing. Happiness is a bit low, the health is a bit low. That's okay. Man, this is one of the few games out there that I feel is really easy to just get completely lost in. I've lost entire days into this game, and I don't know, it's just a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. Let's go ahead and just give each one of these one job. I think we only need one farmer for each one of those. Potatoes are pretty easy to grow. So have we reached our limit then on firewood? It says fuel limit's 1,600. I don't know, it's hard to say. I think we have. I think we're doing alright. Amount of stored firewood is 175. Materials required to perform work. Ah, that's what it is we just don't have enough. We just straight don't have enough logs. Let's go ahead and create some more foresters, I think. I think that's gonna help quite a bit. Where is our last builder? Ah, she must be working on finishing the roads out there. That's quite nice. Let's go ahead and figure out where we can put down a quarry, because I feel like that's going to end up being important for us in the long run. Now the quarry, I believe, is located over here towards the end, and it basically becomes this big open, well, quarry area that once it's out there you can't really do much about it. So I kind of like to put this out of the way. This actually looks like a decent spot back here because we're not really going to be able to utilize that area for much else, and I don't mind the travel to it. So let's just go ahead and we'll drop another road as well. That'll give our builders something else to do. But at least we've survived through the first winter. We can see, yep, 50% yield on the crops, 7% yield over here, not quite as good, but that's okay. One of the other early buildings that's kind of important is to build a blacksmith early on, because you want to be able to keep building tools. And I kind of like to put him across from the woodcutter's place so that they can kind of square off, you know, and make faces at each other while they work and hurl insults back and forth, one blacksmith to a wood chopper. Just feel like that's a fitting tale. Alright. The reserve of food is low. I hear you. I hear you. Alright, we'll deassign some builders and assign more fishermen. I should probably... I think I made these plots a little too big for just one person, because the yield has been so light. I suppose it's something that's better than nothing. Now, we are getting some people who are turning into adults, which is good. We can probably drop another house as well. Let's go ahead and see if we can we build a wooden house on this side? Doesn't look like it. What about a large residence? What does that look like? Ooh, that's so posh. Look at that. We'll be able to build that eventually. That's part of that colonial charter mod, which I don't have a ton of experience with. Whoop. Nope, actually I did not want to build a log cabin. Belay that command. Let's knock that down real quick. Okay. All I wanted was a simple wooden house. Simple wooden house, that's all. Just so that we can keep that population moving on up. Okay. Let's see if we can't get a slight surplus of trees for our poor woodcutter. Just have them clear an area. I think that'll be alright. Now it is winter again, and aside from the cold, I'm not sure about what all the negative effects are. But we now have a blacksmith, and we can start building more tools, which will make everybody work faster, which will make our city overall look more awesomer. So yeah, this is a pretty decent start. Everyone's alive, our health and happiness is not perfect, but okay. We've got a couple of potato fields down here in the middle, fisherman's hut, our little collection of 4 forestry items. We do need to get more iron and wood coming in, but you know, all in due time. We got some more houses going up. So yeah, this is Banished, everybody. I mean, this game is pretty awesome. If you don't know the story behind it, it was made by one guy over the course of a few years. Like, he did all the programming and the artwork and the music, I think. Just super talented. This game has been one of my favorite simulation games all year. If I had to choose one simulation game to continue playing it forever, it would probably be this one. I mean, as much fun as some of the others that I've played. You know, Prison Architect certainly comes to mind. I think Banished is probably one of my favorites, just because of the fact that it's so peaceful and fun to play, and just is really interesting despite having not a lot of the more modern or, you know, fancy fixings that other simulation games might have. So yeah, if this is the type of game that you like, definitely check this out. It's worth every penny and is a lot of fun. And if you do want to see more Banished, if you want to see it from me, let me know. But if you'd like to see it from somebody else, do check out C-Top's channel. I'll go ahead and link it in the description. He's a pretty cool dude, and he is a lot more put together at how Banished and all these other simulation type games work. So if these are the types of games that you like, do definitely check them out. But for now, thank you very much for watching. I think I'm going to go ahead and keep playing this for another hour or two. But I do appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.